So please stay on this video till the very end because there is a very important announcement that I want to make regarding the internships that you can pursue with me. So I run a VC fund and I'll give you a very specific exercise as to how you can pursue an internship with my firm. It will be a paid internship and the end of the video will contain very specific instructions for the first round shortlisting. So this is a very difficult question for me to answer. On the one hand, if I say that go be blunt, be honest, be brutally honest on your interview, most likely you are going to fail your interview. On the flip side, if I say that, hey, go be selectively honest, you will say, Akshat, you're a really bad person. You are asking us to lie on the interview. We don't want to do that. So you see my conundrum that this is a really, really difficult question for me to answer in a practical, honest manner. So what I would do is that I'll give you a simple 3-point explanation and give you rationale as to how you should approach and how honest you need to be to ace your job interviews. So the first key point that you need to understand is the difference between underselling, overselling and making things up, right? So let me explain this via an example. So let's say that you are the member of the finance club of your college, right? So underselling here would mean that you just explain your work experience in a very bland manner. For example, you would say that, hey, I was just a member of finance club in my college. I used to go and participate in this club's activities every week. For example, I used to do Excel workshop. Now this is somewhat underselling, right? And of course, you're smart enough to figure out that if you state your responses in this way, you're not going to clear the job interview. So overselling here would mean that you say that, hey, I was the member of the finance club of my institute. Every week, I used to organize this particular finance related workshop in college. I also participated in terms of raising funds for some of the training programs. And you keep on building these type of points up so as to strengthen your narrative as to how you contributed as a member of a finance club. So this is called as overselling or a little bit of overselling. The final part here is that you also need to understand what making things up mean. For example, you never joined finance club. You have no clue what finance club is in your college, what it does, what kind of activities it conducts, and you have no inkling and no understanding of what finance club is actually doing. And if you write on your resume that I was an active member of the finance club of my institute. So just to make the long story short here, you should, number one, don't go and make things up. That is just completely wrong. That is unethical. And it is really bad for your interview also because A, you might get nervous. If they ask too many questions around finance club, you might not have the idea. That's A. B, sometimes what happens is, so the person who is conducting your interview might have joined finance club in his or her institute. So they might know the activities of the finance club and they might want to relate to you on that level and you might not have good responses there. So it would become obvious that you're lying, right? And third and final thing is that if you're lying on your resume and subsequently it catches up in your interview, then what ends up happening is that it just creates a lot of mistrust, right? So the moment someone figures out that, hey, you know what, this person is lying, I don't want to work with these kind of people, it can really, really backfire. So in essence, please do not make things up. That's a bad strategy. Please do not undersell also, right? For example, if you have done something good, try to polish it, try to present your response. A little bit of upselling is okay. Now, before you jump the gun and start commenting negative things on this video, let me explain why that is important also. Now, the reason why you need to do a little bit of overselling is very simple. You might have seen that, hey, when people send in their resumes to companies, they of course pad things up, they polish it, they make it sound impressive. So overselling here essentially in context of resumes and job interviews essentially means that you are just presenting a polished version of you because everyone else is doing it. That is what the game is. So hate the game, not the player, right? I'm just a messenger. I'm just telling you what actually happens in the job market, that people actually polish their resumes really well and they make things sound impressive and it is okay. The interviewer also knows that this person is just presenting a polished version of himself or herself. So please keep that in mind. Very, very important concept that don't make things up and don't undersell. Both these strategies are really, really bad. The best strategy is that oversell, but oversell a little bit and oversell on things that you have actually done. So if you like the tip, please press the like button. That would indicate to me that you appreciate this type of content and I will continue to make job related videos. The second tip that I have for you in terms of honesty on the job interview is that you must align and handpick your strength. Okay, very important to note is the word handpick your strength. What is happening on the job interview is that imagine that this is your entire profile, this entire thing, right? You are not trying to highlight this entire profile. You are just trying to pick parts of that profile that align with the job at hand. For example, let's say that you have worked in multiple industries. You have been working for the last 10 years and now you are applying for a sales job, right? You're applying for a sales job. Now, what will happen in this sales job is that they will ask or expect you to highlight your sales-oriented nature of your work. So, though you have had 10 years of experience, or 5 years of experience, or 3 years of experience, handpick things or strengths that are sales related. For example, it could be things like that you're a people's person, how you have joined different communities in college, how you have worked with different people from different nationalities, how you have good communication skills. So, you need to pick these type of points from your profile for discussions on the interview. Right? When you're sending in your resume, so just try to pick these type of points that align with the job description at hand. Because again, tying into the first point that I was speaking, that job interview is a platform where you need to sell yourself, right? Unfortunately or fortunately, you're a commodity to a company. They want to test out that, hey, whether or not you as a person, you as a commodity are useful for that particular job and that particular company. So it becomes a sales exercise, unfortunately. So therefore, hand pick your strength. That is the key. Are you being honest? Yes, you are, because you're hand-picking things that are true. Are you being completely honest? The answer is no. You are not telling them everything, which is completely okay. So even the interviewers understand that you're not going to talk about every single thing on your profile. You're not supposed to do that, because bringing up irrelevant points is only going to hurt your chances of clearing that interview. So in summary, what I'm trying to say is very, very simple, that practice your story that is relevant for the job. Practice your story that is relevant for the job, and you don't need to highlight every single thing that is there on your profile. Please don't do it. You're not being dishonest. You're just being intelligent and are handpicking things that align with the job. Now comes the third part and the most important part and the most important tip, that you need to understand how to reword your weakness. Almost every job interview, they are going to ask you, hey Akshat, what is your weakness? Tell us what your weakness is. So if I say, you know what, I have anger management issues and I'm an emotionally unstable person, bad stuff. You can't word your weakness in that way. Similarly, if I say that I have beer drinking problem, please don't say that, right? So don't say this type of stuff. You need to figure out a way to reword your weakness. So just to explain you very quickly how to reword your weakness, what you can do is that rather than saying that, hey, I'm emotionally unstable or have like some dramatic weakness on my profile, so please don't say such ballistic things that will just scare the interviewer off. You need to reword your weaknesses differently. Rather than saying that I'm emotionally unstable or have anger management issues, you need to say something like that I need to control my emotions better. Now, this is just one part of the equation, right? You need to also explain this via an example, right? So don't say that, you know what, I had a junior, he was not doing his work and then I hit him or slapped him. No, please don't say that. This shows that you are ballistic. Never bring up such examples. Show examples where you are saying that, okay, you know what, this kind of emotional problem caused a little bit of stress in my professional life. For example, you can say that last year I was working on this particular project, and my junior was not pulling his or her weight. I could not muster up the courage to fire that person or report him to my boss, and it caused a lot of friction on the project. Right? So you have reworded the problem and you have cherry-picked your example that aligns with your weakness. Then also explain that how have you improved upon it. So you can say that, so over the last few months, I have been actively working on improving upon this weakness. For example, I have studied the working style of different leaders of my firm. I have tried to inculcate their habit of how they make hard decisions and harsh decisions. I have picked this attribute from them and I have been incorporating this into my own working style. So essentially, you are rewording your weakness. You are backing it up with a very specific example. You are cherry picking that example. And finally, you are talking about how you have improved upon that weakness. So I hope this gives you a sense that how honest you need to be on the interviews. I have covered major 2-3 question types here. So before I let you go, here is the internship opportunity that I was speaking about. So I run a VC fund and I do hire a few interns every year. Now many of you have reached out to me saying that, hey Akshat, how can we work with you? So why not I open up this internship opportunity to the entire YouTube community. So here is the round 1 exercise for people who are interested in this internship. I'll ask my team to take a look at your answers and handpick a few people whom we can invite for the interviews. So the exercise is that please tell us in 100 words or less via commenting on this YouTube video, why are you or why will you be a great fit with a VC fund? That's it, right? So a 100-word answer, why will you be a great fit with a VC fund? Try to be honest. Try to implement the strategies that I have told you. And I will see you the next time, and please give it a thumbs up. Please give it a comment. That would mean a lot.